What's up, everybody? This is NealReal, and this is the father you didn't have. Wisdom from an elder about relationships and happiness in life. Like, share, and subscribe. Now let's get right into this topic. What is admiration and why do we need it? Once again, back to the human needs. And what is admiration? Well, it's respect and warm approval. Everybody needs respect. Everybody needs warm approval. I hate when I hear people talk about respect is earned, and all that kind of shit. No, this is a human need, all right? And so when you don't get it, you feel disrespect, you feel like you're insulted, you feel rejected, you feel shame in some cases, and you feel like perhaps your boundaries are violated. So let's get into this. What is admiration? Admiration is the state of being viewed with approval or delight. For people to look upon you with an elevated feeling of pleasure as something which calls out esteem, love, or reverence. It means also to esteem or to prize highly, respect, and regard. So that's why I just broke it down and said it's simply respect and warm approval. All right. So it's respect for your values. So when somebody admires you, they respect your values, they respect your passions, they respect your gifts and talents and abilities. They respect your boundaries, all right? And then they approve and accept your identity and your personality, okay? So there's no changing of you saying that who you are is not good enough or you need to change or none of that. It's complete respect for who you are as a person and approval of who you are as a person, okay? And that's what admiration encompasses. Why do we need admiration? Well, once again, we are interdependent beings. We're all connected. We need each other. So admiration supports our self-esteem. All right. When you are valued by another person, everything about you, when you are accepted and approved of your personal, your identity, who you are and your uniqueness, that supports our self-esteem. It allows us to be who we are. It supports our identity, our true self. And so this frees you to be you if you have been caged or made to be someone that you're not. Okay, so a lot of people have been caged. They're squares is what I call them. And they're not who they're supposed to be. Who they are is buried under a bunch of programs and beliefs about themselves that are not true. And when you get a person that admires you and just accepts you for who you are, in some cases you're allowed to just kind of open up and be yourself, This is obviously done at a young age, but let's say you are a square and you're some kind of way and somebody's admiring you. That could open you up to be, let me just kind of step out and really be myself. It could allow you for that. But it also encourages you to grow into your best self. So if you are, as a youngster, already your true self, it can allow you, it can encourage you and strengthen you to be your best self. Right? Because they already accept you for who you are. So when you see that, how I dress, my values, principles, my passions, what I'm doing, all that's accepted and approved of, I'm going to do more of that. And that's what people do. And you encouraging that person to be their unique self and follow their dreams, be who they want to be, and go forward in life. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get admiration. They're not admired as children. They're not admired as adults. And so they're put inside these boxes, and a lot of the stuff that they need are not allowed. They're just not allowed to have. So they're not respected. Their values are not respected. Their passions, their gifts and talents may be respected, but that's about it. And those are usually connected to how they affect other people. So people usually only respect what you can do for them, or some great talent that you can make them laugh, or maybe whatever abilities and gifts that benefit the group, that's usually respected. But personal values, passions, even your boundaries are often trampled on as a youngster in some cases. And so not everybody, obviously, but this is what is the problem with a lot of human beings. They're not being admired from a young age. They're not allowed to be their true selves. And so they're unhappy for that. And so admiration, what it does for us is it strengthens the bonds between the people that do accept us and do approve of us and do respect us. Mutual admiration nourishes the relationship and helps propel each other to be their best self. So I just mentioned that, but admiration is a big deal. I have to keep stressing that, because the more you admire each other and just let them be who they are and respect their boundaries, respect their passions and values and gifts and talents, the more you encourage them to go further in life. And some of the people, they've reached the height of who they wanted to be, or they're growing and just being their best self. They got there because they had at least one person that was giving them some level of admiration, and they took off from that. Okay? And this doesn't exclude believing in yourself and loving yourself, but admiration goes a long way with human beings. Okay? So here's a few examples of admiration. This is how it sounds. Okay? So to your partner, right? So you could be married, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Thank you for everything you do for our family. I admire you so much, and how you help us all to stay optimistic with your lightheartedness and playfulness. What you're doing is calling out what they do for you. You're valuing that and allowing them to be more of that. Okay? That's what that was doing, right? When you tell your partner something. So it's important that, any relationship you have, to call out the things that are working and how you appreciate them. Let the other person know. To your friend, you could say, you are such a good friend. Seriously, you're always thinking about me and checking in, and I noticed that. It means a lot. Right? So you're appreciating what your friend is doing, which is showing care, and they're making sure they're connected to you, but you're now giving them admiration. You're admiring what they're doing for you. You're letting them know that I appreciate what you're doing for me. Okay? And that's helping them that's boosting their self-esteem, that's boosting their individuality, and allowing them to be more of who they are, which is a good friend. All right. And to your child, this is how you could admire your child. You could say, that's such a beautiful picture you're drawing. I really notice how many colors you've used and how much you are thinking about what to do next. It is so cool to watch your process. And so that's admiring that child's gifts and abilities. And I think I got enough of that growing up to where I became a really good artist in my younger years because of that. It's so many ways, but it's just looking at the people in your life and just respecting them and approving and allowing them to be, unfortunately, like I said, we live in a society that squares people. They put them into boxes and they turn them into squares, and somebody may be wearing a funny hat, or they may be wearing colorful clothes, or they just doing something that's outside of the box of what everybody else is doing. And people tend to make fun of those people. They don't respect that and try to cause that person to get in line like everybody else. And that person is just being a unique person. They need to be admired rather than disrespected and looked upon as if what they're wearing is not approved of. If it ain't hurting nobody, allow it to be. Like I say, I look at the world from an idealistic perspective. I say the world could be a really good place. It should look like Star Wars. If you ever watch Star Wars, they go to certain planets and it's all these different aliens. They're all dressed up different. All their faces look different. Everything is different. And that's how everybody is. That's how people are. In reality, that's how people are. Nobody's alike. Unfortunately, we get turned into squares where we all look the same, act the same, think the same. And we should be appreciating everybody's differences and their values, their passions, their gifts and things. And also, this is one thing often people don't take into consideration, is respecting people's boundaries, regarding people's boundaries. Some people don't want you touching them. Some people don't want you that close to them. Some people don't want you going past a certain place with them. Respect that. A lot of people don't respect boundaries. And so regarding people's boundaries is important. So here's the deal. Admiration starts with the superficial reasons, and then it moves into interior qualities. So a lot of times when we meet people, it's usually the way we admire them is usually on the outside. I may see a woman, I may admire her hair. I like how your hair, I like your body. I like the way you talk. I like your swag, how you dress. But the more you hang out with the person, the more you see inner qualities and values and things like that. And we need to call those things out and say, I like that. I appreciate that. I value that. And let that person know. And that's a way of admiring them. So it starts on the outside and it starts to go inside. The more you learn about the person, the more you can see inner qualities that you admire as well. They need to hear that, okay? Because why this goes back to us being interdependent beings. It supports our self-esteem, and it shows that we're valued and that we're connected, okay? Now, admiration is work. We have to go out our way to do that. And unfortunately, if we're thinking negatively about a person, it's difficult to admire them. Okay, so unfortunately, that's the way things have become in a lot of, Western cultures, a lot of negativity. And so it's hard to admire anybody. We tend to find what's wrong and call that out before we say what's right or what's unique, And so to be a better human being to your other fellow human being, it's important to admire people. If the person is being respectful and liking you and showing warmth and kindness and things of that nature, you can show the same back and be a person that admires and call out anything you see that you appreciate. They need to hear that. So that's all I got to say about admiration. Thanks for listening to the end. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can email me at neal@nealreal.com. You can also go to my website, nealreal.com. I encourage you to check out nealreal.com. That's NealReal.com. Or you can email me at neal@nealreal.com. Have a blessed day.